Hello, everybody. Good morning. I decided to go ahead and do two segments of this. The other video was kind of long, and I don't want to make anybody sit for a couple hours because I'm still learning, like I said. And, so I'm going to do different segments of each one until I get to where I'm a little bit faster at it. And I do want to apologize for yesterday because I looked at the video and there's some of the video you can't see the stuff very well. So I'm going to try my hardest today to keep everything in sight where you can see it. And I want to start with showing you the necklace from yesterday. So here it is. I'm going to show you, better close-up of it because I know I got out of sync yesterday. So I want to give you all, a little close-up of it and show it to you a little better. I can't really redo the video because if I redo it, then you're going to, I'd have to redo the whole thing. So here's the part we did yesterday. This is the first strand. So got that. I want to make sure you all can see it very well today. And I'm going to try my best to make sure I'm cautious and watch what I do and not get out of the view where you can't see what I'm doing. So with that being said, let's get ready to start on the second layer. But first, I'd like to start with a little prayer for everybody out there and for God to guide my hands as I do this video. So, dear Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Forgive us for our trespasses. Lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from the evil one, and give us this day our daily bread. And Lord, I pray that whoever watches this video will find something in it that I can teach them, and maybe they will apply and leave a comment to me, some things that I can change and what I need to work on. And Lord, I pray that you guide my hands and let me keep this camera in line where they can see everything I'm doing today. And Lord, give me the ability to design with my hands in my head and to do something beautiful. Lord, I thank you for the ability that you gave me to do this. And I pray for each and every one out there, Lord. And I pray for this world. Lord, just watch after us all and keep the evil away from us all. In Jesus Christ's name, we pray. Amen. Amen. So we're going to go ahead today. We're going to be starting the second one. This will be the middle. It's 11 inches plus another 1.5 to 2 inches. So we can have room to work on when we go to put our clamshells on. And like I said, it's a design on the fly because I just don't ever know what I'm going to do. So we're going to get started here. And I have this in right here. It's already clamped off. I am going to open these little bitty peach. Let me see where my paper is. I want to tell you exactly what it is. So let me find that really quick here. They're checked. No, I don't think I wrote them down, folks. I guess I can't. Let me see the number. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, we did. 6 by 4 millimeter checks pressed glass teardrop crystal with pink and peach opal coat. So I'm going to go ahead and open these up and get a few out because I decided, yes, I do want to use these. And I'm going to use a few of the tulips on this one. So let's get a few out here and let's get this design on the fly going and see where we go. So here we are. Want to start out with this something small that we have. I think we're going to go, these are kind of an off peach. So let's start off with a few of these, which are 4.4 by 3.2 glass rondelle in peach matte. So let's start off with 3 of these. And like I said, we design on a fly. So we have those on there. Like I said, I'm going to try my best to stay in here. Then I think we're going to go with the teardrop And looks like they're going to be kind of hard to see to get the hoe in. And then we're going to tackle this, maybe. I wanted to use these, but I'm not sure they're going to work. The hole is actually the wrong way. Let's see how it looks. If not, we're going to back out of that idea and we'll use them for something else. Yeah, I don't like the way these are hanging on this. So we're just going to go ahead and leave those off for right now, but I do want to incorporate those. So let's do the 3 and we'll just go on and we're going to use some of these other peach that we have. It's 4 by 3.5 glass rondelles in peach. So we're going to do those. We're just going to make our little pattern here. And these are a little bit hard to see in. So I think this is our little pattern that we're going to go with on this one. We just want something simple. Might put a couple of the bigger ones towards the middle, but not sure yet. So let's just go ahead with this pattern that we have right here. And let's see where we go from there, how we like it. I pray that you all are doing okay today and that you all had a good evening. If I don't talk, I'm just concentrating. It's nothing to do with anybody here. Sometimes I just get in this mood, and if you're a designer, you just get in this mood and you just, get your thinking going on and stuff. And so this is going to be the second layer on the necklace here, which the middle layer, of course. So we're going to just repeat this little pattern that we have and see how it turns out, and hopefully we like it. If not, we'll be tearing it back down, so which I hope that doesn't happen. So I think on the next layer we're going to use the brighter oranges that we have, like the little triangles, and maybe some of the glass round rondelles on there. So like I said, I just design on the fly. Let's go with it. Let's see how it looks, and in the end, when we put it all together, we'll see what we think. So if you will, leave me in the comment where you're from, what state. I don't, or you can put your town on there if you like. Totally up to you. But just leave me a little comment so I know where you guys are watching from. And any comments about my work, things I need to change, different things that you see. Maybe you have some ways too that's easier. I will, like I said, this is going to be the second segment, so I will list it like that on there. And I will put a link to my supplier on there as well, where I get my beads from. And like I said, they're almost full to the max, so they're not going to be able to take very many more subscriptions monthly, and it's only $24.99 a month, and you get like close to $100 worth every month, and it's all good quality, nicely done. The monthly box, they put it together in a kit, and you can do so much with each one. It's just amazing how many that you can get out of one box. And especially if you sell jewelry, it's a way, you can have high quality, and yet you can still be able to make a profit off of it and give your customers, great things. And so if you're interested in subscribing to Beadbox Bargains, then I suggest you pause this video right now, get over there and sign up for it, because I don't know when they're going to stop taking subscriptions. It's just they got to make sure that everybody they have now, whoops, see, I messed up talking. I forgot to put my little teardrop on there. Their suppliers, they have to be able to make sure they can get all the supplies they need for the people that are already subscribed. But Lauren and her team does such a great job. It's beautiful. And I've met a lot of people just through that group, and they always give me so much support. And when I have questions, everybody comes together. They're all nice, and that is the Facebook group, and it's called Beadbox Corner. And you can go on their Facebook and join that, and get a lot of advice. You can see what everybody's made. I'm not sure everybody posts what they made on there, but a lot of people do. There's a couple ladies that it's just, I'm so in love with their work and their designs, and I just like, uh, I don't know if they've been doing it for a while, I'm sure they have, but their designs are absolutely gorgeous, and I just love everything these ladies make. And there's so many people on there that have so many gorgeous designs, so many different ideas of how to design jewelry and stuff. I don't like to copy anybody's because, like I said, mine is, I want all my jewelry that I make to be one of a kind, well, it is handcrafted, but I believe everybody is unique in their own way, and I believe everybody should have something that's unique. And I just pray all the time that nobody's copying mine. I mean, they could maybe do the same design, but they use different beads and stuff like that, I just pray that there's not people out there that's copying mine exactly, because it's very, very important to me that the people be unique, So, and let's measure this really quick and see what length we're at right now, because we don't want to go over the 11 inches. It looks like we're only about 8 inches here. Not sure if you can see that. We're about 8 inches, so we got a little ways longer to go before we can tie it off. But yeah, it's very, very important to me that, whoever wears my jewelry, that there's no more like it. Because, yes, I'm a Jesus freak, and I'll admit it, and I'm not afraid to admit it. So, God created us all so uniquely. And I just feel like we should all have something as unique as we are. So that's my goal. That's what I strive to when I'm doing my jewelry. And I just strive to do the best I can and pray people like it. I don't know what everybody likes out there. There's so many different people out here in the world, and everybody has different tastes. So just, fly by ear and see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and start measuring this because, like I said, I want to watch it really close that we don't get over, because it will have a big effect on how the second layer is going to hang. So I definitely don't want that going on. And I'm not sure exactly. I haven't decided if I want to put on, like, dig out of my stash, if I want to dig out something like a connector or something to hang these off of. I haven't decided that as of yet. Everything I do on the fly. So bear with me. And if I, go to look for something, I decide that I want to, try to find a connector to put on here or something like that. I'll have to get my stash out and dig. And we're about 10 inches now. Got a little bit longer to go. So let's make sure our pattern is staying where it's supposed to be. And I always double check my patterns at the end to make sure, that I haven't missed a bead or anything like that. And I'm going to try, I'm hoping we don't have to do 3 segments on this, but folks, I don't want you to have to sit here for hours at a time. So if my video, being that long, if my videos are that long, then I will just break them down. So just watch for that until I get farther along where I make stuff quicker. You know, I just, I care about people. I care about people. And looks like we got one more to do, and that's going to be the end of it. So we're going to end just how we started, which is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to end with the same 3 that I started with, so it worked out really well. So we're going to remeasure one more time here, and then we'll get ready to tie him off. So let's get this measured. Awesome. So I'm going to try, you could all see this without dropping it. So this is what we have. I'm trying to do my best to stay in camera today because I know I didn't do too well yesterday, and I really apologize for that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get our clamshells out here. I'm going to get a couple of tubes. So these are my little clamshell connectors here. So I have those. And then we have our, whoops, crimp tubes are so tiny they want to fall. There's our little crimp tube. You can see that. So on this first side, I open this just a little bit. So I have room in there to work. It doesn't matter as much on this side because I will be crimping it here at the top, close to the top. So I have this, and we're going to put that little crimp tube on. So this is what we have right now. I want to take my crimp tube up as far as possible, giving me some room to clamp it. Now I have to find my tools because I don't know what I did with my clamps yesterday. What's here somewhere? Up here, there. And I just spilt more stuff on the other side. Good thing y'all can't see it. So here's my crimpers right here, and you can see in there's that down here. This one, it's got the little crimp thing, and then a top. So I'll be starting down here when I first crimp it. Down here at the second one. So we can get a good crimp on that. You want to crimp it good, but you don't want to break it. And then we're going to take and turn our crimps around. We're going to go ahead and go up to the first position. And we're going to try to make this look as nice as we can. It will be covered, but I still want it to look nice. Sometimes I have to turn it around a couple times right here. Like I said, it doesn't matter as much because it's going to be covered up by the crimp tube. But when you're not using, a clamshell. When you're not using the clamshell, it would make a big difference. And then I always make sure it's tight. It's not going anywhere. So I'll bring my clamshell up. And I'll get my cutters here. And like I said, these are new cutters, and I don't know what's going on with them, but they just brand new cutters, and they got little grooves in them. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut that flush right against that crimp tube. And then I always take my glue. It's kind of hard sometimes in the morning to open. But I put a dab of glue in them just because I want to make sure it's secured. So all it takes is one little bitty drop. Doesn't take much in there at all. Just a little drop because you don't want it to get everywhere. And this is the glue. Then I'm using, it's Alina's Jewelry and Metal Glue. If you guys see that. So that's what that is. We'll put it over this side because we're going to need that. Then when I go to put these clamshells in, not so much this one because it's rounded, but I always try to make sure that if it's a crimp that's more flat, I always try to make sure I get going the same way where it's the widest part. So then I want to make sure these little holes are even up here. So I'll crimp those down just a little bit right there. Sometimes you have to manipulate them a little bit, because if you don't have your hose lined up, when you go to put your jump rings in or whatever you're attaching it with, then it's going to be really hard to get it through there. And then I like to take my nylon pliers here, that's for wire straightening, and I like to put it in there and just kind of give that a little squeeze where that clamshell is completely closed up. So that way I know it's extra secure, but you don't want to do it too hard because you will leave a dent in these. So don't do them too hard. So, and this is what we have. Whoops, I did it again. I was out of scene again. So this is what we have right there. So now we are ready to do the other end. So what I'm going to do is take this and move all my beads down to that end. Got them all down there. They're all down and next against that clamp. Then I'm going to take off this bead cover. I'm going to go ahead and put on our next clamshell. And this is where I'm going to open it really wide, because it's really hard to get in there. And normally I just have to squash them. I've tried it several times with my crimpers, but I just can't seem to get down in there with my crimpers. To do it, I've tried it several times. I always try it every time to see. So right here is what we're looking at right now. So I was going to go ahead and try my crimpers. Oh, I need to tell you, you want to wrap this around a few times like this. Can you see how I've got it wrapped around down here? You want to wrap this around because you want some play in it, but you don't want too much play. So then I'm going to take and hold on to my wire, which, see, I'm trying. I can't get in there with the crimps, so I have these tools right here. So I want to make sure that's got a little bit of play in it, but not too much play there. So I'll wrap it around. I grab a hold of my wire here. I kind of push down on my clamp as I'm doing it at the same time. That way I know that it's secure. And then that way, when you make a little loop out of your stuff, it's got just enough movement in it, not too much. And then also, you know that it's your crimp tube's tight against your beads. So we have that, and we're going to make sure he don't move. And nope, he's good and secure. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take this and we're going to flush cut it right there at that tube. Like I said, sometimes my cutters don't want to work too well. So we've got that. And I don't know, this one, look, I had it, but it kind of feels a little bit tight, but it's got some movement in it. Not as much as I would like, but we're good with it. Good with it. It's moving enough. So then I'm going to put my little dab of glue in there. That way I can make sure it stays sealed up. And you can do it if you want to, you know, you don't have to, totally up to you, however preference you are on yours. And here's where it's talking about the crimp tubes. So I want to turn this, make sure it's where the wider part's going in. So that way it doesn't buckle up in there. So then we're going to go ahead, use our fingers here and close this, be real gentle and close up this crimp tube here. So we're going to close this up, and then we're going to use our little tools here. I like to use these. So we're going to try to manipulate this so these rings are, you know, just same. Got to be really careful doing this though, because these things do bend easy. They are secure, but I have actually bent a couple and I've had to take them back off. And then of course my wire was not tight. Or I mean, it was hard to do because my wire was so short. It was really hard to do to get it back in. And normally when that happens, I usually have to go ahead and restring them. So we're going to use these nylon wire straighteners here. Try to manipulate it a little more where it's even. Close that tube up really close together. So sometimes sometimes they work good and sometimes they don't. So looks like see how we're a little off up here. Can you see that? We are gonna try to manipulate this back in where they're even as much as possible. And said sometimes it's really hard. So sometimes I have to try to work it up from the bottom to try to get them even without smashing my yeah, you know what I mean. I can't think because it's too early in the morning yet. I want to get a start on this and get it done because I got a lot of jewelry I need to work on this week. This one is not cooperating really well. I mean, I do have the hoe in there, but it's really off, and I don't know since I glued it if I can get this back open yet. So I'm going to try to open him back up and redo him here if we can get him to come open. Or try to use our fingers to manipulate that hoe over. A little hard at times, but it's just part of it, you know. You just have to try to get those over together, and actually I think we've got it. Yeah, we got them to scoot over and line them up a little better where we can get our tube in there. Or, I mean, our ring when we go to attach them. Yeah, it's a lot better that way. Didn't think they were going to come apart too easy because, like I said, they do have the glue. So, here we are. Let's show you this. This is our second layer here. Oops. So yeah, this will be our second layer for the necklace. So we have it. We got it right here. Let's unravel it so y'all can see. So here's what we got. And that's our second layer. And looks like our little, I mean, I love the look of these little teardrops, but every time I've used them, none of them's ever stayed the same. Never, ever, ever. And they seem like they want to flip. So that's why I don't use them too much, because I got some beautiful, beautiful white ones. And they shine, they glitter. But I've tried them several different times, and they just flip all the way around, even with other beads on them. And I just don't, that's just not my thing. So we're going to try to get these all going the same way, but it looks like the wire is going to turn on us. So once we get it secured, however I decide we're going to put it on there, it will work out okay, and then they will stay. But the ones that I have, the white ones, are bigger, so they will not stay no matter what beads are with them. I've tried them so many different times. They just don't want to stay. So, all right. So here we are. We've got this all laid out flat now. And that is our layer 2. So we have that. We're going to set this aside. Then we're getting ready. This will be our last layer on this. So we're going to use that. We're going to go ahead and let's get some of these tools out of the way here, because I just got too many tools out right now. And it just kind of gets in your way. So I like to keep mine all just kind of hung up here and out of my way. And, you know, that way I have a neater work area, even though it's not neat looking. Y'all can tell that. Sometimes it's a lot worse than this. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to clamp one side. Well, we're not going to do that yet, because guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to measure it. Even though I measured it once, I always, you know, that thing they say, measure once, cut twice, or measure twice, cut once. Yeah, that's what I try to do. So we've got 10 inches right there, and another inch and a half, 2 inches, so we have extra room to tie off at the end. And we're ready to, got this clamped off, and we are ready to design again. And I think with this layer, we're gonna start with some darker orange. I think is what we want. We might, we got these little, I'll show you here in a second. Let's get some on. These little triangles though, ooh, they are really hard to string. They're so tiny, and it's finding the hoe, and bear with me. We'll get them on there. So yeah, they, I love them. They're so cute, but they're really hard to string to see that hoe. Let's see, what was the size of these? 5042. Let's see if we wrote those down. You know, folks, I did not write those down for some reason. We'll have to look those up. So here's what we're going to start with right here. And then I think we're going to go with the larger bicone on this. Then we're going to go ahead. I want to see if I can pick these up down here, because sometimes you can see the hose better on the white. So let's do this. We're going to add in some other, I'm just not sure what yet, but I know this is the pattern that I want with the orange. So it's a little tedious here finding these holes, because like I said, they're so tiny. So this is the start of our pattern right here. I hope the light's good so y'all can see that. So then I think, let's see, how many of these crystals do we have left? I don't want to use any more of those. I would love to use those tulips, but they're just not laying the way I need them to go. So we might try to figure in some dangles or something like that. So let me think here a minute. I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to use the crystals, because I really like a little bit of a different, you know, the color's just a little bit different. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll start back. So show you this again. This is going to be our pattern right here. So this is how we're going to do it. Even though these little triangles are going to be a challenge, we're still going to do it. So just bear with me, and we're going to get string in here. Try to pick these up as quick as I can. Like I said, sometimes being on this white, the holes will show up better in the light, so that helps a lot. So, so how many people out here are actually designers? Do you design jewelry, or you've thought about doing jewelry? I started last year. I have been doing some craft shows, and I've sold, you know, I've sold and not done bad, not done the best, because we always want to do better. You know, we always want to have that better going on. So, I have another show coming up next Saturday, and I'm going to take out some of my other jewelry that I had, and then I'm going to put in some new jewelry. So that way, you know, people that bought from me last time hopefully will buy again. And, you know, I know everything takes a while. It's just, if you all are like me, that while kind of hurts, because, you know, we have to spend the money to make money, right? And it's not really cheap getting started, especially a website and, you know, setup fees. And I do have a booth in Creola, Alabama. It was a new store that started up, but next month I had to stay for 3 months, so I have one more month there, but I'm going to be pulling out because it's more antiques and things like that. And I don't think they get a lot of foot traffic. Not sure. I can't say they do or they don't, but I just know that I'm not selling much. And, I've sold a couple items down there, and it's not enough to keep paying for that shop every month. It just, I'm losing money, and it was a try, something I had to try. And you never know until you do try it. So that's where we're at on that. And yeah, I'll be pulling my stuff out in the May once my time is up there. It was fun. It was really fun setting it up, and it was a learning experience. So I just trial and error. That's what it is in this business. And so many people out here do design. So many people have been doing it for years and years. So they're established, people know them, they know their work. So any of you guys that are new, just starting out, I got discouraged. I really do. I'm going to admit it. I got discouraged really bad. And, but I prayed about it, and God helped me with it. And so it's easier said than done, right? It's easier to tell you don't get discouraged, but I've been there. I'm having problems with this one here. There we go. So, yeah, it's very easy to get discouraged when your stuff's not selling, and you're like, wow, did people not like my stuff? And then you've got people on the other side that support, but it's not your jewelry, your stuff's gorgeous. I love it. So those people help bring me back up, and my husband's really good about it. So far I don't think there's anything that I made that he hasn't liked. He's gave me suggestions. He has gave me suggestions on a few things, and when I've done it. So he knows it's my thing, and with him, he doesn't care, what I do, because he knows I enjoy it, and it gives me something to do since I can't work. So he's all for it, but yeah, being on disability, so I'm on a tight income, and I have my own bills as well as, not just all of his. So I have my bills too, and it gets discouraging because I spent all this money, out getting this website up and done, and buying all the stuff I needed to set up for the booth, and just different things like that. So it does get to you. I'm not gonna kid. I'm not joking around with you. It gets to you when you're still paying all this money out, and it's like, well, when's this money gonna come in? I still got to pay for all this stuff. So let's give it a measure here. See where we're at so far. This is what we got. So let's get this a little measure and see where we're going. We're just at like about 7, not quite 7 inches. We got 3 more inches to go here. So let's get this pattern back and going again. And we're going to go there. I do have some gold chain that I am going to incorporate in this. So I do have that aside. I haven't decided on the length of it yet, but we will do that as we go. And I hope today's video is a lot better. Yesterday, like I said, I can't really go back and take out all those parts because it would miss that first part, and I just feel so bad because it's like, oh man, sometimes I can't even see, so I just but learn off your mistakes, right? That's what life's all about. We just have to learn from our mistakes and then go on. And as long as you learn from your mistakes, that's the good thing. So yeah, these little triangles, I love them. They're just as darling as can be. But at the same time, they're just kind of hard to, find the hole to put them in. So we had some in our monthly box one time from Bead Bargain, and they were purple. And let me tell you, I had the hardest time getting those strung because the color of them and stuff. I couldn't find the hose to go on them. Excuse me. Couldn't find the hose to go on them, or it was just, oh, sometimes it stresses you out a little bit, but I got through it, got it done, got the design I wanted. So that's what's important, is that you pay attention, you do what you want to do, and part of life, sometimes we have to tear things down, we have to put it, it's just part of it. So anybody out there, have y'all put a home necklace together or something and then get to it and decided you didn't like it? I've done that. All right, we're almost, so we're looking like we're going to finish up here with this like we did. And we're going to get to the orange, and then we're going to be done. We should be at our length. I don't really want to go over the length, so I don't know. I may have to just end with the little orange triangles. We're going to see. Because I think with that bicone and another set, it's going to like put me over too far of 11 inches. Or 10 inches, I'm sorry. So let's see what we got here. We need 10 inches here. And yeah, we're right about 10 inches. So let's put a bicone on, and let's go ahead and see what we're going to end up with. I mean, if it's just a tad over, that's not going to be so bad. But if it's like a half inch or something like that, that's going to make a big difference in how it hangs. And I don't want to do that. So we're going to try to end with this, and we're going to remeasure and see what happens. Well, I picked that one up instead of doing it down there. So there it is. So let's see where we're at. So we're right at like about 10 1/4. I think we'll be all right doing that. All right. So let me clamp this off. I'm going to clean up these beads here out of the way. And so when we go on to the next step, we'll have, be all ready. So let's do this. Get all these beads out of the way here, back in their little trays for now, so we don't have stuff all over the place. And oh, I just really love these tulips. I was hoping to incorporate them. I might do a couple cha-chas or something and string down from, I'm not sure yet. We're going to see where we're going to go. So now we're going to get our 2 clamshells out. Okay, and we got to have 2 crimp tubes. So there's those. Then we're going to go ahead. We're going to start with this end, just like we did last time. And we're going to open this clamshell. Like I said, remember, this one doesn't have to be opened a lot. So we have this. We'll just open this one a little bit here. Find the hole. Come on now. Having problems this morning seeing all this stuff. Well, I got all my lights on, so I'm not sure. I slept well last night, and actually when my husband went to work, I slept a little bit longer after I fixed his lunch and everything. I was just like really tired, and I couldn't see my eyes or keep my eyes open. So here we go. We're going to crimp this one down. We're going to use that second hoe to crimp them down. And you want a good crimp, but you got to be careful not to break it, because they will break if you put too much pressure. So you go ahead and turn it around. Go to the first hoe, and we're going to press those down and see how it looks. Looks pretty good. I think I want to go in there just a little bit more and smudge that one in there a little bit closer. Goodness. Sometimes they're a little harder than others, so just got to take your time, do it right. There we go. It's on there. Make sure it's secure. It is absolutely secure. All right, let's bring up. I'm going to bring up our clamshell here. We're going to cut that flush. say we are. Because I don't know what, my cutters, they're good cutters. Well, I thought they were, especially, what they cost to get them. For me, anyway, it's like, we put our dab of glue in, when you're on a limited income and stuff, every little bit makes a difference. Yeah, my husband has his, but I'm the kind of person that, he works hard every day. He works really hard. So I try not to, he takes care of tons of stuff, don't get me wrong. But yet I try not to ask him for a lot of extras if I don't have to. My car's in the shop, so he's spent $500 trying to get my car fixed. Thought we were going to have it back, but unfortunately the guy that works on our car ran into some problems with the parts, so he's had to have it a few days longer. Nothing his fault, nothing he did. It's just one of the parts, he said there's 3 different parts for it, so hopefully the other one, he said, is supposed to be in today, so we're praying it is. I got a doctor's appointment on Friday and then another one on Monday. I already had to miss or reschedule on this one that was Monday because I just didn't have a way to get there. Well, I would have. My husband, I told him I needed the truck because I had a doctor's appointment and he'll usually take the bike to work. But unfortunately, with that cold that came in, it was just really too cold for him to ride to work, even though it's not far, So when I slept late that day, and when the weather's like that, it affects me a lot. So I do get really tired. And when rains or storms coming in, I get really tired. So here we are on this one. We have it. Now we're going to bring these beads all the way down again. So you want to take them all the way down to the other end that we just did. And we're going to remove our little clamp here. This clamshell is the one that I'll open up a lot so I can get down in there to do that crimp or, crimp tube. So I can put this crimp tube on because it just, it's harder to get to. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to wrap it in circles here. Because like I said, there went my crimp tube. I don't know if we're going to find it now. It just flipped off. Let's see if I can find it. There he is. That was a luck. These things are so tiny, they're hard to see. So anyway, I want to make sure it's not too tight where it has some play in it. And then I'll just take my string. I use these because they're a little bit longer. So I just take this and I'm going to push down a little bit on that. Pull the wire up, push crimp tube down. That way I can make sure it's secure there, and it's not got too much space. So let's get this secured in there and then we'll trim it off. And then we're going to go see what we want to do next on this. Alrighty, that should be good. Let's make sure he's secure. Yep. You don't want to tug him too much, but you got to make sure he's secure. Let's get this flush cut down here. There we go. That one come off a little easier. Get our glue. Put our dab of glue in there. Just a dab. It don't take much because if you put much in there, it's going to come out on you. And you don't want, especially customers, you don't want to give something to a customer that has glue all over it. At least I don't anyway. I care. So, and I'm sure all you people, jewelry makers out here are the same. I mean, especially if you're selling your jewelry. That one closed up really well. I'm really excited about this one. Went on just pretty much even. I mean, there's a little bit of manipulating here, but not much at all. So there we are. Got these. I'm going to get these out here so we can put it in between there and give it a little squeeze, and without damaging it, you know, putting a dip in it or anything like that. So got that. Looks good. And here we go. So I'll show you the finished product on this one. Here you go. That's what we have. So we have that. We have our ends done here. I'm trying to make sure I keep in focus today. So we have this. All right. Now let's move all this back out of the way so we don't keep spilling beads and, you know, getting a mess or anything. Let's get this all back out of our way and put stuff back where it belongs. And then we are going to get ready to assemble. So, get that in there. All right. This will be our last strain right here. So we want to put that aside. And we're going to get ready to connect. I'm going to connect this one into this one. So we need to get some, I like to use as small as we can on our jump rings, because I just don't like a lot of, you know, I don't like them to show a lot. So get my favorite little tools. Let's get some of these out of the way that we're no longer going to use. Let's get these. Let's get our jump rings open. So if you did come back from yesterday, remember I'm telling you on your jump rings, you don't want to open them side to, you know, like spread them straight apart. You want to take them in a back and forth method. If you do it the other way, you're going to take them out of shape. So these are tiny, so it's kind of hard to get a hold of, but we're going to do this. So got a hold of that one. All right. And then here's how we're going to open them. When we open these, we want to go, let me get a hold of it. We want to go, you can either go back towards you or you can go forward. So just like that. And then we'll put it in here. Get that to go through there. All right. I'll do a little bit of switching on my pliers here, so I can switch how I'm holding it, because I want to put the other one on the inside. So I'm going to put this one inside just like that. All right. And then we're going to close it back the same way that we opened it. So we're going to take them, close them back the exact same way we opened it. You want to make sure that these are good and closed. And sometimes you might have to wiggle them a little bit in place, wiggle them back and forth. But that one went really well. So always make sure your jump rings are completely closed. Especially if you're making something to sell. You know, you don't want your customer to be walking around and then it comes open. So this is what we got right here. So we got that side connected. I'll lay it down here, see what we got. And we're going to connect the other side here. I like to lay mine down flat and, you know, make sure before I put it on there that it's going to lay right. So these little tulip, they're little teardrops. That's what I'm saying. They just turn and turn and turn, and I'm praying once they are hooked together that they'll stop turning around, because You know, I don't want to have wear it and then they're all going different directions. So hopefully after we get that on. So now we're going to get our other jump ring right here. I'm going to grab a hold of that and get it. And grab a hold of the jump ring. We're going to open him up. I'll find the thing. There he is. So we're going to open this up just like we did the other one. We're going to go back, not sideways. So we're going to go ahead and put that one on there. I say we are. And then drop that jump ring. Oh, it's just sometimes things happen, you know. So got that jump ring there. We're going to go ahead and place on the first one. And then I'm going to switch out here. Grab it on this side. Like that. I'm going to pick up my second one. And we're going to put that on. Oops. And then the next layer, I think what I'm going to do, I want it to, you know, hang a little bit more. So I think I'm having problems here. Sometimes these clamshells, they don't want to go in there. So bear with me here. That one just came out. So I'm going to lay him back down. Put that back on. This one's just not cooperating today. So, you know, it's because they're small. I like to use the small ones. And put those on. So we have that. Let's make sure this is laying right before we put it on. We don't want it to be twisted when we put it on. So let's see if we can get that through there. There we go. So it's been a little complicated there. Like might have a mailman or somebody, delivery person out here. My husband ordered some stuff for his bike, so he had two bikes. He had the Harley that we ride all the time with the captain's seat and everything, you know, so it's comfortable. So he had that, and then he had this Suzuki, and he kept it like when his friends come over or something, you know, the ones that could ride, he would let them ride him. So he went out. I was at a show and he said he was going to the Harley shop to look at bikes. Well, guess what? He came home with another Harley. He still had ours, but let's see. Oh, these little things. I'm not sure if I'm going to like those because they are just turning everywhere. So let's see what we got here. So anyway, he came home with another Harley. Then he ended up, his friend didn't have a way to work. Some good friends of ours and wonderful people. And they have 5 kids. And I mean, we just love him to death. His friend is going to be helping us out when we get ready to do some work on our house. So my husband decided that, he would let him have that bike for helping us out on our house when we get ready to do some work here on it. So, all right. Well, let's see what we got. So this is it so far. It's not hanging right yet because it's not done, but that is exactly how it's going to be. So I think I probably could have made it just a little bit shorter. But I think once I get it on there, you know, it's laying on my neck. It's going to lay okay. Let's lay it down here and see. Spread this out here. Oh, yeah. Can you see that? It's going to lay just fine. It's just I'm not sure about these little teardrops. I don't think I'm going to like them, but is what is. They're just turning on me. I wish there was some way to keep these little things where they're at, but I can't get no tighter on this because it's got to have some hang down on it. So can y'all see that? Let me move you farther. Let's see. I don't know. Can you see it? There we go. I think you can see it right there. Okay. So now we're going to get a little bit bigger jump rings here, and we're going to attach this next one with a couple jump rings at the top of these. I think is how we're going to do that. So let's get these opened up. Just same way we did before, either toward you or away from you. And I'm not sure this is how I want to do it, but this is what we're going to try for right now to see if that's what we want to do. We can get it to go in there. That's going to be another thing. So we're going to try to get this to go in there. And then we'll see how it's going to lay. If it lays okay, then I'm not going to worry about putting a connector or anything in between them, because I do want to put the chain on. So we're going to see how they lay in here. Because I really do not want to have to add anything else onto this. I really don't. That's not the ideal I was going for. So let's get him hooked in there. Let's see how this is going to lay. Like I said, I did them an inch apart. So each one was an inch shorter. So I'm hoping that it will lay well. Sometimes I go an inch and a half. It just depends. So let's see what we got. All right. So get this one maneuvered around in there a little bit. All right. Whoops. Got it twisted or something here. Let's see what's going on. Nope. All right. Yep. I'm going to spill those beads again. So this is what we got. Right here is what we got. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? And then we'll be putting the chain on here in a second. I don't like my necklaces really long, like a lot of people do. Can you see it? So, I'm sorry, I'll go out of camera. I'm going to kind of measure where it's coming. And that way I can see how much chain. You know what? Also, we have got to get, one of those out. Sorry. So, here's the chain I chose that I'm going to be using on it. So, got this, but hang on, I'll be right back because I have to get the clasp. Alright, we got some toggles out here. Let's see. I have some nice gold ones in here. I really like that, but I think it's a little dark. Let's see. Yeah, I think this one will match a little better than this. So we're going to go with this toggle. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Go ahead and we're going to get this toggle out. This is what we're going to be using. So it's got a little flower in it. If y'all can see that. Oh, so we got that. That's what we're going to be using. And sorry, folks, about that. I hope that didn't show in the video. My husband was calling in, but I'm in the middle of this, so, I'll call him back. Unless he calls right back, and then I'll know it's something important, so I will have to call him back. All right, so I'm trying to figure how long I want the chain to be on each side, and I don't want it to be really long. So let's measure this and see. I think we're going to go about 5 inches on the chain. I think that'll be plenty of chain for me because I don't like necklaces to hold down, you know, like really long. I like mine more at the top. I don't know why. That's just my preference, you know. So we're going to go ahead and cut this at 5 inches. All right. Well, there it is. And then I have a little trick, and I got to find my thing that I use. Let me find it so I know my chains are the right size. Here it is. I also have this little piece of copper wire here that I use, and let me straighten it out just a little bit because I want to make sure it's pretty straight to hang these on. So let's get these. So here's to get my chain even. I just hang the last little hoop. I just take that and I hang it on, put that through there and let it hang like this. And then I'll grab my other chain that's still on the roll and I'll put that on there. So see how we got it? And then I'm going to bring these down together and I'll be able to tell exactly where to cut it so they're even. So that's why I wanted my little bar to be as straight as possible. So I'll bring these down together, and sometimes it takes me a minute, but I definitely got where I need to cut. So go ahead and cut one off. And sometimes I'll cut the one below. That way, when I cut it below, even if it's an extra, then I can take it off. So there we are. And yep, we've got one extra on there, just like I took off. So we're going to cut that one off on this side. Oops, got a hold of that. We're going to cut that one off on that side, hopefully. Sometimes, like I said, I got these new cutters and I'm not sure what's going on with them, but they're not cooperating very well. All right, so now we have our chain. Let's wrap this back up. And this is 18 karat gold chains, or 18 karat gold plated over stainless steel. So it's a good chain. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to go with a little bit bigger jump rings on this one. So I just and then we're going to need a couple more for the clasp too, so I'll go ahead and get those out. So let's go ahead here and get our jump rings opened up. And can you believe we're almost going to be done with this necklace? Can't believe it. I'm going to have to go out in the truck and get some of my the little breastplates that you hang stuff on. I have to go out in the truck and get those. So anyway, we're going to hang one chain here. Close that back up. All right, make sure your ring is good and closed. We're going to go over here. We're going to grab this one. Open him back up. Put that end of the chain. Whoops. Let's see, here we go. Got to put him on there first. Put him on there. We're going to put this chain back on there. Close these back up. Make sure their jump rings are closed. All right. We got that. We got that. All right. Let's get this laid out here a little bit more. Let's go ahead and get these on the top. Okay, so we got that. And come on now. Sometimes little chains are hard to get these in. Okay, and then we're going to put on our toggle. And I'm not sure if it matters which side you put which on, you know. I mean, I guess if you're right-handed or left-handed, it might make a difference, but I haven't found any difference for me, so I just put mine on. I normally always put the big part on the left, and then the bar I usually put on the right for me. That's why I usually do it. So let's get this chain in there. Get the bar in there. And I don't have any of my breastplate hangers in here. They're out in the truck from the show, so I will have to go get some of those. And I will put it on the front. So let's see what we got. All right, so get it. It's not going to hang right because it's not laying flat, but you know, you get the hint. So here it is. Here's our 3-layer necklace that we made. I'm sorry it's not hanging perfect, but this is it. So it is all done. Let's lay it down here and see if we can get it to lay like it should up here. And that way I can show you. And I will show you once we have once I have it on the breastplate, but I will put a picture on the video of that. So all right, well, there we are. We are done. Thank you all for watching. Sorry about the video, first part of the video. It's a little messed up, but you know, I'm learning, and I just want to tell you all I appreciate you all. Thank you for taking your time out of your day and for watching me. And as I go, I know I'm going to learn more about the videos. I'm going to, you know, just practice and see it all. But I just want to thank you all, and let's say a little prayer for you all. Dear Father in heaven, to all these people that watch my video, I pray that you will look out for them and keep them safe, Lord, and bless them financially and let them prosper in their life, Lord. And for all the other people out here in the world, I ask you to bless them. This world is so evil right now, and I just ask you to protect all of your children, Lord, that are out here in this world, and take care of us and let us live the life that you meant for us to live in the way you want us to live, not the way we want to live. In Jesus' name, I thank you, Lord. Amen. Amen. All right. Till next time. See you later.